Hi, this is Kerry from Orange Cat Crochet. I'm just here to show you the basics on how you make your little bunny. So if you're a beginner to crochet and you want to have a go at the kit, that you can have a go and hopefully give you the skills you'll need to be able to make it. So in your kit there'll be everything you need to either make the pink bunny or the blue bunny that you can see here. So what we need to do first is, out of your kit bag, is you need to get your crocheting hook. So it will be a 3.5mm crocheting hook. The colour might vary depending on the hook. And also a ball of yarn in your body colour of your kit. And then also in the little kit there'll be a little bag like this, and you just need to take the stitch marker off. This is where we mark the rounds as we go. So it's very important that you use that. So to get started, what you need is your hook and your yarn. So we're going to start by making a slip knot out of the end of your yarn. So on the end of your yarn, grab that, wrap it around your index finger on your left hand, and then pull it over so it makes a loop. Just secure that slightly. Then we're just going to pull that up ever so slightly, grab the end of our yarn and just pull it. So this is the same as the slip knot you'd make for any other type of project with a slip knot. So then you're going to pop that little loop on the end, and then you're going to pull it a bit. Make sure you leave a little bit of a tail at the end so that you can secure your work. Now next, how we hold our hook is we're going to hold it in our right hand, and you're going to pinch it between your thumb and your index finger. Then again with your yarn, what you're going to do is you're going to take it over the palm of your left hand, and then you're going to wrap it around your index finger like so, and then you're just going to grab the bottom of it with your ring and your little finger, and then with your thumb and your middle finger you're just going to hold on to that tail for now, just to give it a bit of security. So you pull your yarn so it's a bit taut, and then you're going to start working. So how we're going to start is we're going to start by making a chain. So to chain, what we do is we hold our yarn as so, and our hook, and then we're going to push our yarn backwards. So you have it in front of your yarn, and you're going to push it back, and then you're just going to pull it up so it loops over your yarn that's hooked around your finger. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to pull that through the loop that was on your hook already, and that makes your first chain. See that little V? That's your first chain. So we're going to do that again. So we push back, grab our yarn and pull through. So you've got 2 loops. So if you want, have a go at keep doing that. Just push back, pull through, push back, pull through. And that is the basics to crochet. So that is your chain. So most projects will start with some form of a chain. So if you look at your pattern for row 1, it's going to say make a magic circle and then 6 single crochet into that. So how we do, so if you kept on chaining, just pull it and it will undo, and then you want to go back to make 2. So do your slip knot again and then 2 chains. So if you see, I've got 2 little V's there. Well, with a magic circle there's loads of different ways of doing it. I find this way better. It's very easy to do and it's quite simple. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2, and then we're going to work our 6 single crochet into that first part, that first chain. So don't pull your chains too tight, and we're going to work them into there. So how we do this is we're just going to insert our hook into the middle of that V shape, so it goes in like that. Then what you're going to do, so when we were chaining we took the hook in front of our yarn. This time we're just going to bring it back so that we're behind the yarn, and we're going to hook our yarn under like that, and then we're just going to pull it through that part. So not the one that's on your hook this time, just the one that's there. So now we have 2 loops on our hook, We're going to take it in front this time, so not behind, and we're going to hook our yarn again. And then, as we did with the single loop last time for the chain, we're going to pull it through both of them this time, and that makes our first stitch. So that's our first single crochet. So we want to do another one, because we want to do 6 into that center, and this makes our first little round, because we're working in the round in origami projects. So we're going to put our hook back into that same spot. This is a little tricky, so it can take a little while, but just keep on doing it and keep practicing that way. So again, we're going to take our hook back, so we kind of circle it, grab our yarn underneath and pull it through that loop again, so the first chain. So now we have the 2 loops again. What we're going to do is push it back, grab the yarn again, and then we're going to pull that through the 2. So if you look, we have 2 little V's on the top, and that's our 2 single crochet. Now to mark where we are, we need our stitch marker at this point. So what we're going to do is we're just going to insert our stitch marker into that first stitch and then lock it. So you keep it there, and that will show where the first stitch of that round is. So we've got our first one, see that first V, second one. So this round is 6 single crochet, so we need to do another 4. So again, we're going to go into that circle of that first chain, so it gets more clear to see where the gap is there. So we're just going to insert, and then we're going to put our hook behind it, pull it through, so you have the 2 loops again, pull over and pull through. So now we have 3. So we're going to insert it again. We're going to go behind the yarn, pull it through. So we've got 2 loops on our hook. We're going to go in front, push back and pull through. So now we have 4 into that center circle. So we're just going to do that again. So we insert it, put a hook over the yarn and bring it down, pull through. So we've got 2 loops, pull a hook the yarn, pull through. So now we have 5. So then we're going to insert it again, bring the hook behind the yarn, pull it through. So we've got 2 loops. This time we're going to push back, hook the yarn, pull through. So now we have the 6 single crochet, so you can count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now what we're going to do is just pull our little circle a bit, the end tail of it, so it's a bit tighter. So if you look at your pattern, now it will say increase into each stitch. So what that means is we're going to do 2 of them stitches into each one of these 6 stitches. And if you look, it will say on the end of it that it will have 12 stitches in brackets, 12 in a bracket. That means at the end of that round, we're going to have 12 stitches. So that will be 2 created in each one. So how we're going to do that is we're just going to remove our stitch marker, and then we're going to remember, once we've done our first stitch, to put that back in. So we're going to start in this first V that we created, where that stitch marker previously was. So we're going to go through, so we have both parts of the V on our hook. Then we're going to push our hook underneath it and bring it round so it loops it, and we're going to pull it through. So we have 2 loops, we're going to push back, hook our yarn, pull through. So now we're going to do another 1 in that same stitch. So we insert our hook again into the same stitch, bring our hook under the yarn and over so you catch it, pull it through, so you've got 2 loops, push back so it hooks it, and pull through. So that is our 2 in our first stitch. So we're going to take our stitch marker and we're going to insert it into that first one. So if you look, our first stitch from the previous round has 2 stitches in it now. So we're going to go on to our next V shape, and then we're going to insert our hook again. We're going to bring our hook under the yarn and hook it, bring it through, so we have two, and then we're going to push back and pull through both. Then we're going to do exactly the same into this stitch again. So we're going to put our hook under our yarn, pull it through. So now we have two loops, push back, bring it through both. Then we're going to move on to our next stitch. So we're going to go into the next V. We're going to go under our yarn, hook it, pull it through. So now you have two. You're going to push back and pull through, so that now you have another stitch. So we're going to do one more. Then we're going to hook our yarn, pull through, have two loops, push back and pull through both loops. So now if you count, you'll be getting onto 6 stitches now you should have, because we're on the 3rd stitch. So that's 2, 4, 6. So if you look, we've got 3 stitches left, and so that's 2 in each, so that will make our 6. So we're going to keep going. We're going to insert our hook under the 2 parts of the V. We're going to bring it under and over, so we hook it, bring it through. So we've got 2 loops, push back, hook it and bring it through both loops. And then we're going to do it again into that same one. That one into the next stitch, so under, over, through, 2, push back, through both, and do it again. And then into the last one. Like so. So you'll have 12 stitches at the end of that round, and that will be our second round. So if you want to count your rounds, you've got that first one there and your second one there, so it makes little spiral shapes, and you'll always know when you're at the beginning with your stitch marker. So now if you look at your pattern for round 3, it will say to do 1 single crochet and then 1 increase, and it says to do that 6 times. So we're going to repeat 1 single crochet, 1 increase into the next round, and at the end of that round we'll have 18 stitches. So all you want to do for this round is remove your stitch marker, and then in the first stitch we're going to do 1 single crochet, and in the next we're going to do the increase. So you insert your hook under the V, loop your hook, your yarn, pull it through, 2 loops, push back, through all 2. So that's our first one. So then what we can do is put our stitch marker back into that first stitch. Then we're going to do an increase. So we're going to do 2 single crochet in that next stitch. So under, over, pull through, 2 loops, through both 2 loops, then do another one in the same stitch. So that's our first repeating pattern. So then we're going to do a single crochet again. That's our 1 in there. Then we're going to do 2 in the next one. Then we can do 1. Then we can do 2. we're going to do 1. And then we're going to do 2. Then 1. So, and then 2. So remember, the increase one is 2 in the same stitch. And this builds up our shape as we go. If you see your little centre circle is just getting a bit loose, just give it a tug and that will tighten the whole of the middle up so it closes it up. So then we're going to do another single. Like so, and then we're going to do another double. That's 1, 2. So you always know if you finish on the correct one that your pattern's right. But if you want to just check, all you need to do is count your little V's on the top and that will show you. If you find that you do it wrong, all you do is just take your hook out and pull it until you get back to that beginning one and you can then redo that round. So it's very easy with crochet. If you make mistakes, it's very easy to undo because you just undo that round. As long as at the end of each round you check it to make sure that you're right, then you'll be fine. So on our next round, it keeps building like that. So the next one is 2 single crochets, then an increase. So 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets, increase. So you just keep working it like that, and when it says 1 single crochet or single crochet round, you just do the round with single crochet in. So you just keep building it and building it. If you need to undo it and have another go at that round, do that and keep trying, practicing. It doesn't make any difference to the yarn. You've got plenty of yarn to keep going, and you can just undo it really simply with crochet just by pulling, and they come undone like so. So that's how we get started on that. If you want to keep doing that and building your pattern until you get to the decrease rounds, and I'll show you how to do the decreases, and I'll show you how to do your little bunny's face as well. So if you want to meet me back at that point on the next video, and I'll show you that part.